This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Watch me go, never slow. Make 'em whoa. Watch me go. Watch me go, never slow. Make 'em whoa. Watch me go. Ready, set, go.
Following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today's Monday, June the 30th of 2025, day 181st of the year, and only 185 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big, streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world in the multiverse, because that's kind of the way that it goes around here. So just information. So, writers will be off tomorrow for the most part, I think. Tomorrow, Wednesday, light editions is what they're going to be giving me. Independence Day, of course, is on, someday this week, on Friday. So short week for some of us here if you're based in the U.S. Anyway, so how you been? How was the last, 48 hours or so for you? Hopefully you had a fantastic weekend as we're back on this lovely Monday trying to get it all back together, because that's what we do around here. Getting it all together, doing our thing. So with that being said, let me tell you real quick about what we do around here. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. Just the way of the world, just the things that we do and how we go about and doing everything. Just kind of what it is. So with that being said, as we go through it, you can interact with the show. callinradio.com will do the trick for you. Yeah, that's callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging are the options that are readily available for you to go through the plethora of things that we have going on. So if you're ready, I'm ready. We'll talk a little bit and do some stuff that we have going on, because that just kind of seems to be the gig. So with that being said, let's get into some of the important stuff and talking maybe baby. I don't know. Maybe baby something. Let's just talk about what the hell was trending. Maybe that's the easier way to do it.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look at the trends of the ends, it goes something like this. Notable and noteworthy, Tesla achieves a major milestone. Yeah, if you didn't hear about this, we'll talk about what happened over the weekend. Also, Diddy's fate is now in the hands of the jury. We'll talk about that. And Steve Burns returns to a new podcast. Yeah, Steve Burns returns to a new podcast. You know, because I guess podcasting's where it's at. Yeah, just in case you don't know, Steve Burns is from Blue's Clues fame back in the day. You know, back in the day. Okay, maybe it's not that far back in the day, but it's back in the day type of thing. Okay, so with that being said, why don't we do this? Why don't we bring in our friends from Feature Story News and let them start talking about what the hell's going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because I think that that's going to be an important thing for us to do. So if you're ready, I'm ready, and I think we're going to do it right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. 2 firefighters have been killed after being shot while responding to a brush fire in Idaho. Kootenai County Sheriff says one shooter is confirmed as dead and is believed to have acted alone. A third firefighter is described as fighting for his life. Officials had reported coming under sniper fire during a mountain manhunt. A trade deal between the UK and the United States has come into effect. Tariff cuts for the automotive and aerospace sectors are now in force. However, an agreement to reduce tariffs on steel as part of the deal has not yet been reached. Joe Hawkins reports from London.
Up until today, manufacturers who are sending cars to the US had to pay a 27.5% tariff. Now, it's 10%, and the entire aerospace sector, which up till today had a 10% tariff, now has nothing at all. The Prime Minister says the deal he's secured is historic, but the work isn't done yet, because the government will be updating Parliament on where we're at with other imports.
India's monsoon rains have covered the entire country 9 days earlier than forecast. It's the quickest progression of the monsoon in the last 5 years. From New Delhi, Sriyoshi Mukherjee reports.
Agriculture experts say the early onset of the rainy season has accelerated the sowing of summer crops for this year, as nearly half of India's farmlands depend on rainwater for crop growth. India's monsoon season is the backbone of the country's $4 trillion economy as it irrigates Indian farmlands and fills up water reservoirs. Usually the rains move northwards and cover the entire country by 8th of July, but this year the season was ahead of schedule. India has already received rain that is 8% above the average for the month of June. The country's weather office says India is likely to see above-average monsoon rains for the second year straight in 2025 and has issued alerts for heavy to very heavy rainfall over several parts of the country for the next 7 days. Sriyoshi Mukherjee, New Delhi.
Wimbledon is set for what could be the hottest start to the tennis championships on record. Temperatures are expected in the mid-30s in the UK, with much of Europe experiencing heatwave conditions. Britain's Emma Raducanu says it already feels hotter than the numbers suggest.
I feel like the heat in the UK is like extra hot, even when the number says a certain level. It feels hotter always. So I'm prepared. I'm going to stay hydrated, do all the right things.
Meteorologist at British Weather Services, Jim Dale.
Heat coming out of North Africa, as far as Europe is concerned. I mean, it does happen in the United States, it happens in Asia as well, but for our part of the world, it's the Sahara Desert, North Africa, all that heat pushes forward. It's not just one country or two countries, it's the entire European continent.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, what to make of Friday's Supreme Court decision that says lower-level judges in the United States can no longer apply their rulings on a national scale. The president hailed the decision as great news, and certainly there are reasons to believe that the Supreme Court has done him a massive political favour. David Smith is Washington bureau chief for The Guardian newspaper.
The court did expand Donald Trump's powers even further in what some are calling an imperial presidency. The court's ruling basically took away the power of lower courts to block Donald Trump's agenda. In the first 5 months or so of his presidency, we've seen numerous injunctions from district court judges saying that this or that policy by Trump is illegal and it should therefore be frozen nationwide. But now the highest court in the land, the Supreme Court, said they've been going too far.
On the specific case that sparked Friday's Supreme Court opinion, the president is now 30 days away from being able to bar babies born to non-citizens from receiving birthright citizenship and an American passport, although there are all sorts of fresh legal cases that are likely to be held, and on the merits of that proposal, the Supreme Court has not yet ruled. But more broadly, Friday's opinion was a huge fillip for the president's efforts to cement his agenda in place. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, 2 firefighters have been killed after being shot while responding to a brush fire in Idaho. A trade deal agreed between the UK and the United States has come into effect. India's monsoon rains have covered the entire country 9 days earlier than forecast, and Wimbledon set for what could be the hottest start to the tennis championships on record, with much of Europe experiencing heatwave conditions. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Here is another bit for our competitors to copy. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Monday. So a lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. So why don't we start getting into it right away and start talking? An airplane waiting at a gate for passengers aboard the Charlotte Douglas International Airport was given off a smell so bad that it sent the crew members to the hospital. Fortunately, the airline reported that the stink before passengers was able to board, though they had to deal with delays. American Airlines maneuvered a new plane for the route, and a total of 7 people went to the hospital for illness related to the odor. Though they are expected to be okay, no word yet on what the stink was about. I don't know. After, seeing the preview to the Poop Cruise documentary that's going on Netflix, you're probably going to have some questions. Was it the poop plane? I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going on? What else? Okay, so take a listen to this. If you have not seen this, you should probably go look for it. But Tesla has reportedly shipped a self-driving vehicle straight from the factory to the customer's house, a global first for the technology. Elon Musk reported on X the first fully autonomous delivery of a Tesla Model Y from the factory to the customer's home across town, including highways, just completed a day ahead of schedule. He added that at no point were any humans in the vehicle, nor was it operated remotely. So some stuff there. The development comes less than a week after Tesla debuted the self-driving robotaxi service in Austin. Those vehicles always have an employee in the passenger seat just in case anything goes wild. So if you go watch the video, it supposedly went something like 30 some odd miles. And you can see the car doing its gig. It supposedly used robotaxi. Programming, not the one that's a full self-driving there. I guess it comes in the traditional car. I'm just saying based on what it said. So I guess that's some options or some things to do. So what do you think? Do you think that this is going to change entirely how we get cars nowadays? Because think about it for a moment. If all of a sudden you do not have to go to the dealership and you don't have to go and negotiate and all that stuff, all you do is just buy it online and it comes to you, life is going to be slightly different. I mean, just think about it for a moment. I don't know if in the area where you're located, if they have Carvana or what is the other one, Vroom or something along those lines, where you essentially order a car online and they come and they tow it to you and they deliver it. And then if you're trading one in, they take it a glancy-antsy over and then take off. I mean, that changed part of the industry where you see a lot of these cars now being able to be delivered with somebody there. So I don't know. It'll be interesting times as we move forward, no doubt. So let's continue. Okay, one of the components of Starbucks rebrand, including personalized messages on every cup. But for the Texas woman, the quip left her insulted. Blanca Lopez says that she ordered a drink at the coffee shop inside of the local Target. On the lid, the barrita wrote, "What do you call a sick eagle?" Illegal. Lopez, who is Hispanic, says that she was stunned. For me, it was like, it's offensive, Lopez said. She said that she thought that the message, she brought the message to the manager's attention, but they were very apologetic, though that she'll still be waiting for a formal apology from the corporate office. This is according to CBS News. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, it's not really the best thing to write on a cup, but it's kind of strange. But at some point, when you start doing stuff like that, you're going to run out of things to say. I don't know if that would have been my first choice of stuff to go to, but it's definitely one of those things that sounds interesting.
Safety never sounded so terrible.
Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's see. A bison boiled to death in a hot spring last week during a Yellowstone National Park busy tourist season. Let's see. There was 2 bisons standing there. I thought it was a great photo opportunity. One park goer told CBS News, but then moments later, one of them tipped into the ground, into the spring as hard as it tried, it could not get out. Fortunately, the passing was quick, according to the scientists in charge. The park volcano observatory, who shared that grand prismatic spring reaches temperatures of 192 degrees. This is according to CBS News. So yeah, that changes some things for you right away. So I don't know. So a lot of stuff there for us to give a gander-ander at. What else do we have going on? Baseball. Let's talk about baseball player Dave Parker has died. He passed away on Saturday after a battle with Parkinson's disease. Parker spent the majority of his MLB career with the Pittsburgh Pirates and was voted into the Hall of Fame last year. He was 74 at the time of his passing. What else do I have for you? Let's go through this. Let's see. Jeff Bezos got married over the weekend to Lauren Sanchez. They're officially married now. He's 61. She's 55. The couple tied the knot on Friday. And the San Giorgio Island in front of 200 guests. Bezos was previously married to Mackenzie Scott, and Sanchez spent 14 years married to Patrick Witzel. So there you go. Congratulations to the couple, regardless of what's going on. Somebody said they rented a town, which I don't even understand how you would do that, but I guess anything's possible when it's all said and done. So there you go. Anyways, let's talk about the weekend box office because some people are going to care about that stuff. So let's do it from this factor. Coming in at number 10 was Karate Kid Legends, coming in at $1 million. At number 9 was Ballerina, $2.1 million. At number 8, The Materialist, $2.9 million. At number 7, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, $4.1 million. Number 6 was Lilo and Stitch, $6.9 million. At number 5, 28 years later, $9.7 million. At number 4 was Megan 2.0 at $10.2 million. I don't know. I feel like that one, there wasn't a lot of stuff letting you know that it had just come out, but that's just my opinion. Also, Elio came in $10.7 million at number 3. At number 2 was How to Train Your Dragon with $19.4 million. And at the number 1 spot, the top movie, I don't think that this is very unexpected, but this is just my opinion, of course. F1, the movie, $55.6 million. That's the newest Brad Pitt movie. But that one, you know how there's some movies you watch or see the preview to and you go, I'm just going to watch that shit at home, blah, blah, blah. That movie has that feel that you have to go to the movie theater to see it. It just does. And I don't know what state, maybe it was in Texas. I kept on seeing that they have these screens that are called X screens, and maybe that's brand specific, so whatever. The X screen, you can see everything going on across. Supposedly a lot of people said that when Top Gun Maverick came out, that was one of the ones that you had to see in that screen. And supposedly this is another one of those movies that would probably be highly recommended in that. Believe me, not pitching the movie there, just kind of giving you some info there. Some info. I mean, let's just keep it real. Let's lie. Okay, so what else is going on? The Dow gained about 432 points to close at 43,819 on Friday. The S&P gained about 32 points to close at 6,173. And the NASDAQ gained about 105 points to close at 20,000. 273. So there you go. Also, West Texas Intermediate closed at $65 on Friday. That's per barrel, of course. And Brent crude was at $66 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.18 on Sunday. And Bitcoin was flat over the weekend, trading just around $107,000 range through the set. Have the all-time high end of the month value. So there you go. Also, Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing will be for $50 million jackpot or $22.4 million cash payout. And tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $155 million cash payout. So just in case if you were wondering. Also, before I forget, where do I have it? Where do I have it? Right here. Okay, Conklin Conference coming up September the 9th through the 11th of this year of 2025. Of course, Conklin Conference will be talking about the world of human and organizational performance. If you're interested in taking a listen. Of course, Todd Conklin will be there, Martha Acosta, Bob Edwards, Jennifer T. Long, Andrea Baker, Mark Yeston, and yours truly. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says Live Events. That's safetyfm.com and click on where it says Live Events. Or you can scan that QR code that's right there on the screen and it will take you to more information for you. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of that world of the multiverse. No doubt there whatsoever. Okay, what else do we got going on? Let's see. Verdict watch. Sean Combs' fate is now in the hands of the jury as deliberations in the sex trafficking trial begin today. As for when there will be a verdict, that's anyone's guess, especially with the holiday week, which could speed up or delay everything going on right there. So there you go. There you go. So what do you think? I think it's going to be interesting, regardless of what the outcome is. So there you go. We already talked about the Bezos tying the knot. Let's see. The Syrian-born teenager who helped plot the foiled terrorist attack for Taylor Swift's Vienna concert stop last year has been charged by Germany's federal public prosecutor with supporting foreign terrorist organizations and attempting serious violence against the state. Mohammed A. is all it's listed as, a follower of the Islamic State who lives in Germany, allegedly helped translate bomb-making instructions to an Austrian teenager who intended to bomb the Swift Eras Tour stop at the stadium in August. After the plot was discovered, the shows were canceled. Swift addressed the incident at the time, saying that it filled her with a new sense of fear and tremendous amount of guilt because of so many people had planned to coming to those shows. This is according to the BBC. So, don't know what to tell you. Some very interesting stuff as we are going. Okay, what else do we have going on real quick? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about some casting call stuff because, hey, why would we do anything else? I think it's going to be a weird news week. Okay, Amanda Seyfried reportedly tried out for the role of Glinda on Wicked half a dozen times. I auditioned like 6 times for Wicked because, that had to be the real just right, and I loved it. She said, on the Envelope podcast that I was busy. I barely had time to do it, but I made it work. I worked my ass off for years and years and years on that music. I'm just competitive with myself or in myself, really, really healthy way. Of course, the part would go to Ariana Grande. No word on how many auditions she went through. This is according to EW. I feel like that particular movie, like for you to try out for that movie, you had to have somebody who was a strong singer. At least that's the way that it's portrayed. And listen, I can't tell you anything about the Broadway show. And I was coerced by my daughters last year to go see it. It wasn't terrible, but I was amazed on how well, Ariana Grande was able to pull that off. But keeping in mind that I guess at some point, she did work in the Nickelodeon world in regards to some stuff going on, no doubt there. So with that being said, why don't we do this? In regards of some stuff, because, it's always interesting as we are going through the items here, opposed to just randomly talking. Why don't we drop into our main story? Yeah, why don't we just go ahead and drop into the main story? I know I'm ahead of schedule. Some people are going to be like, you're dropping in before. Yeah, but it's okay. We're going to live through this. It's going to be okay as we're talking about this. So let's go ahead and go into our main story and just start whapping away about everything that needs to be done, because that's just kind of the way that it goes. So let's do that right now. Let's get into the meanie.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
You know, I have to sit back today and just take a moment and have the convo with you about how strange some of the stuff is that happens behind the scenes in regards of safety events. And when I'm talking about events about safety, I am talking about events that occur inside of your workplace. And let me explain a little bit more than what I'm talking about. Let's say, for instance, you have someone that you call, like a consultant, and you have a consultant come in. Maybe they're going to do a workshop. Maybe they're going to do a presentation. Maybe they're going to do all this stuff with you and your team. Now, nothing wrong with that. Should be done if it needs to be done. But here's where some of the misalignment occurs. And let me explain this. You'll have someone call the consulting firm or the consultant or whatever and come around and say, hey, listen, we're having X, Y, and Z problem inside of our workplace. Our company is different than any other company that exists. Don't worry, that's kind of the traditional line that you get through these things. And they'll tell you that they want to change X. Now, you can make X whatever you want it to be. It could be this, it could be that, it could be the other. And as they're telling you that they want X to change, there's a caveat. And let me explain why I say that. Because they want to incorporate this new idea, this new thing that they heard from Billy Bob down the road that they're trying out. And now their organization, the one where they're working, wants to try this out because they heard about it from Billy Bob. Cool. Thanks, Billy Bob, for setting everything up. But it has to be looked at through this lens. And now when I say through this lens, I'm talking about the old format that the current workplace is doing before they reached out to the consultant. Because, we can't rock the boat. We can't change anything too much because we don't want our people to freak. Okay, I got it. I understand all of this. This is making sense to me. And then the world gets strange because people get all hesitant about doing anything when it comes to that. They start getting hesitant about, should I do this stuff? Because if I'm putting the old lens on it, why am I going to be able to do something new? And now, listen, don't get me to say the wrong thing where I'm going to turn around and tell you, oh yes, you need to change everything, because that's not always the case. But there's some stuff that needs to be put into place. You can't have somebody come in with the old point of view and try to tell you, we're going to do a new point of view, but only by looking at it through the old point of view capacity or point of view way before we put the new point of view way in. See how that can get a little confusing? And that drives me crazy because I will tell you, I have had the opportunity, and still do to this day, of course, to going into organizations where they're saying that they want to change stuff. But they have to have the meeting. The meeting on how they're different. The meeting on how if we change it into this, it will change everything else within the organization because they know they need change, but not too far of change from what they need to do in the first place. So it gets very confusing at times because it's like, do this, but with a limiter. Yeah, do this, but do it only if you put X limit on it. If you don't put X limit on it, then we can't move forward with it. Now, if I'm looking at that and having that conversation, and this is coming from quote unquote the top of the chain, it becomes extremely difficult for what goes on within the organization in the other parts. And why do I say that? Well, keep in mind that normally when a consultant is brought in to an organization, it's normally to interact with, we'll say upper management is normally how it starts. Sometimes it's the C-suite people. And it becomes strange because if they're saying put the limit here, how does it work for everybody else? And I can only imagine that as you go through this from a day in, day out perspective, it must be extremely difficult if you're a line level employee and you're working with upper management. And you say, hey, this is what we need to change, and they are trying to put limiters on you already. Now, I can't even imagine how it would work if you're in middle management. Because here's the weird part about middle management. And I mean weird in a good way, so don't take it the wrong way as I say it. Middle management probably has to be some of the most difficult jobs and work that goes out there. Because that person, or those people, however you want to word it, have to maintain a very interesting relationship. They have to take the information from the line level people to talk to the higher management, while keeping the relationship with the higher management to talk to the line level people. And remember, I'm not going to say that you're serving people, but man, you have two different communication styles, and you definitely have two different things that you're trying to accomplish. You're trying to make sure that the frontline worker is happy in what they're doing and have all the items that are necessary for them to be able to complete their job, while also trying to make the upper management, or yes, the upper management, happy with regards to the work that's being done out there. So do you understand on how difficult this becomes? Because you're going this and you're going that. Now imagine that as you're talking to the upper management, if you're in middle management, they're telling you, yes, we can do these things, but only if you review it under this lens. Duh. And now all of a sudden you're talking to the line level people and they tell you, oh yes, we're willing to do that, but only if it's done with this lens. So no new lenses are being done. All that's being done is you have to see it the way that I see it before we're willing to look at it the way that you want us to look at it. So imagine how difficult those conversations have to be from middle management or from the line level people or from upper management. It becomes a small cluster. So here's what I would tell to you, listen to me. Here's what I would say to you. What if, and I'm just talking about if, we eased up a little bit? What if we were willing to take a listen to what people had to say before we make these commitments of, you have to look at it through the lens that I'm currently holding before I'm willing to do anything. Imagine what kind of a different conversation we could have if we try to be a little bit more understanding of what one side is seeing over the other. I'm just saying, it's just something to think about. Think about it for a moment.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Safety never sounded so terrible.
Rated R Safety Show.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. It's all about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Pop quiz, hotshot. During a heat wave, what's more important, air conditioning or air guitar?
Is it air conditioning?
Air guitar. The answer is always air guitar.
Watch me go, never slow. Make 'em whoa. Watch me go. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Running in the fast lane, rolling with the hit squad, shining like gold, tear up the road, lighting up the runway, electric like Tesla, future even better, shooting like stars.
Okay, here we are, 45 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah. Doing our thing. Broadcasting from our studios in Orlando, coming across Safety FM, radiobig.fm. You might be listening to us on Odyssey, iHeartRadio, everything in between there. But we're also now hanging out in the podcasting world. We've been doing that for a while. But, you can take a listen to us on some different mediums as well. So there you go. Anyways, this little song you're taking to listen to in the back, it's Watch Me Go Go. Little K Parks coming your way. Songs readily available on Pandora, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Spotify. So some items for you right there if you're looking. So there you go. Thanks to K Parks for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Okay, so there you go. Let's talk about some other things going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is what we do around here. If anything, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and the people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that you have been, or the people have been where you are now, and that healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com, and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, you'll realize there's all kinds of information for you related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, and grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is the way that it goes around here. So don't worry, because we got some more stuff for you coming your way. So let's talk about this, just in case if you were not aware, but back home broke. Yep. Are you planning on moving back in with your parents? Well, you're far from alone. Nearly half of the parents say that an adult child between the ages of 18 and 35 boomeranged home. According to Traveling Survey, while saving money on rent and food sounds like a win, it might come at a hidden cost. Budgeting skills. Only 46% of those who moved back home earned high marks from their parents for their budgeting, compared to 63% of those who never left. Why? Living at home often means fewer expenses, fewer chances to practice real-world money management. Experts say that when they financial pressure off, so the motivation to get into a budget is not very high. This can be, a blessing or maybe not a blessing. But without a structure of having to manage all of one's bills, it can also slow down financial independence. The key, according to the people who know, is to give those boomerangers a clear expectations of their financial responsibilities in their parents' home, and to have regular conversations about money management. It's hard to budget when cereal just magically appears. Also, instead of moving back home, why can't they just carve out a meager existence in a one-room basement apartment with 4 other people? Existing only on peanut butter and crackers, while vainly hoping that someday things turn around like I did. Oh yeah, because that sucks. I'm just saying. Beans and rice and beans is normally the way that the stuff goes in regards to talking about that. But I will tell you, there is a segment inside of the people that I have that are family, allegedly, that they've done that. They've done the boomeranging thing. And it's not like for a short period of time. They will go there and camp out. And I'm talking about like camping. I'm talking like, hey, 7, 8 to 10 years type of thing. And not leaving. Now, what I think is funny is like, I'm doing this to save money, but then, you're vacationing every summer. I don't know really what the high end there is of what you're expecting. Anyways, with that being said, let's do something a little bit more positive. Let's bring some John Smalls in our life and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Larry. Scott Eastwood said, "My father taught me to not overthink things, that nothing will ever be perfect, so just keep moving and do your best." Excellent advice. Scott's dad, by the way, is Clint Eastwood. You've probably heard of him. He was a military guy who ended up in Hollywood as a leading man in the 70s and 80s. Then Clint got involved in politics, then back to Hollywood to be a filmmaker and an actor. Many of his later characters are somewhat controversial, but Clint doesn't seem to care what people think. He has a story to tell, and he does it his way. Some people absolutely love Clint. Others are not fans. But Clint doesn't seem to care.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. Prayer is multidimensional. It includes petition, confession, intercession, and praise. But its highest purpose is fellowship with the Father. In prayer, we share our needs with God. But more importantly, we spend time with the Father. Relationship takes precedence over everything else. Remember, the primary purpose of prayer is not petition. It's about spending time with the Lord. Lord Jesus, my heart hungers for you. Not for what you can do for me, but for you personally. I want to commune with you as friend with friend. I want to spend so much time with you that I become like you. Grant this prayer, I pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Russia launched its largest aerial offensive on Ukraine overnight using more than 500 drones and missiles. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
Ukrainian forces report multiple air defense systems engaged with one F-16 pilot killed in action and appeals underway for additional Western missile support. Missile strikes targeted residential areas in Kharkiv and Zaporizhzhia, triggering temporary blackouts and emergency response efforts.
British law enforcement is investigating incendiary anti-Israel chants made at Saturday's Glastonbury Festival.
Rap punk duo Bob Vylan reportedly led attendees in shouting "Death to the IDF" on stage, prompting outrage from the Israeli embassy and festival organizers. Police are reviewing video footage to determine if public disorder or hate crime laws were violated. Organizers issued a statement affirming opposition to all hatred and noting they are cooperating fully with authorities. Benjamin Wright reporting.
The Pro-Democracy League of Social Democrats in Hong Kong has formally disbanded amid what it describes as sustained political pressure.
The move marks the end of the last major opposition party to dissolve, since Beijing tightened its grip following the 2019 protests. Members say continuing in the current climate would risk arrest under the national security law. The disbandment is likely to further reduce political plurality in the city. Observers say Hong Kong is now left with virtually no organized pro-democracy parties. Chris Anderson reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Elon Musk sharply criticized the Senate's tax and spending package, saying it would destroy jobs and harm the U.S. economy.
His comments come just hours after the bill advanced in the Senate by a razor-thin margin. Musk's tweet added pressure on moderate Republicans weighing whether to support the legislation in upcoming votes. Senate leadership is now scrambling to shore up the remaining votes ahead of floor debate. Some GOP lawmakers are now reconsidering their positions amid the backlash. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Lightning strikes injured at least 20 people at Lake Murray in South Carolina over the weekend.
Hundreds were caught off guard by sudden thunderstorm activity during a holiday gathering on the water. Emergency responders report no fatalities, and all injured individuals are receiving treatment at local hospitals. Park authorities remind boaters and swimmers to heed weather advisories, especially during summer storms. State officials are reviewing safety protocols to prevent future incidents. Kevin Sanders reporting.
A Kansas sheriff's deputy and a suspect died in an exchange of gunfire following a fireworks complaint.
The call to a rural neighborhood escalated when officers encountered an armed suspect late Saturday night. Both the deputy and suspect were killed in the ensuing confrontation, while other deputies responded to contain the scene. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation has taken over the inquiry and expects to release preliminary findings soon. Kyle Norris reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
In order to save the planet from cow farts, why doesn't someone just invent really large gas X pills?
God, what's that awful stench?
Radio.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Some awful stench right there. No doubt about that. Anyways, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date, back in 2019. President Trump becomes the first sitting president to set foot in North Korea and the Korean demilitarized zone. Trump shook hands with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, and then the pair crossed the border to South Korea together, shaking hands again. The meeting of the two leaders was focused on reconciliation and diplomatic progress. So there you go. That happened back on this date in 2019. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. A.J. Brown turns 28. Alicia Fox turns 39. Cody Rhodes turns 40. Michael Phelps turns 40 as well. Fantasia Barrino turns 41. Cheryl Ann Tweedy, 42. Cole Swindle, 42. And Catherine Ryan turns 42. Lizzie Kaplan turns 43. Mike Tyson, 59. Rupert Graves, 62. Vincent D'Arofo turns 66. David Allen Greer, 69. And Thomas Sowell turns 95 today. So there you go. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, well, it's World Social Media Day. Isn't that like every day? International Asteroid Day. National Meteor Watch Day. And Please Take My Children to Work Day. What? Please take my children? Like, are you giving them off to somebody else to take to work? I mean, I'm kind of confused on that one. So there you go. If you need a rando-ando for today,
A rando-ando.
I got the gym. Okay, I go to the gym almost every day. Almost Monday, almost Tuesday. You get the point there in regards to what we got going on. Okay, if you need a phone starter for today, try this one. What is a trivial skill do you possess that due to changing times you don't use anymore? What's the skill that you possess due to changing times that you don't use anymore? Think about that real quick. Also, if you need a question for the water cooler, try this. 25% of people say this is one of their biggest fears. What is it? Their cell phone battery dying. So there you go. That's going to sum up our time together. So thanks for hanging out with me on this lovely Monday at the top of the hour. I'll be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out for the next couple hours or so. Would love to see you hang out with me over there as we can talk and do some music and some entertainment news type of stuff. If you don't want to go over there and you want to still hang out here on Safety FM, you can hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. So there you go. That's going to sum up our time. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it. Always a good time when you and I get to hang out together. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path. Think about that. It'll take you places that you did not expect. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios. as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.